let's ride.
Let's go, let's ride. Let's go, let's cruise, let's fly. You come to ride by my side. Let's go, let's ride. Here we go, sailing on a ship.
A Navy vessel, tugboat too, container ship or take a cruise. A punt, a barge, a fishing boat, a hovercraft. Come on, let's float.
Let's go, let's ride. Let's go, let's cruise, let's fly. You come to ride by my side. Let's go, let's ride. Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Trucks and tractors on the farm, trolleys, trains, and cable cars, bicycles, a London bus, a fire engine just for us.
Let's go, let's ride. Let's roll, let's cruise, let's fly. You come to ride by my side. Let's go, let's ride. Here we go, up in the air.
In a blip up through the clouds, helicopter whirling round, swing up on a tramway car, or fly a jet plane to the stars.
Let's go, let's ride. Let's roll, let's cruise, let's fly. You come to ride by my side. Let's go, let's ride. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go, let's ride. Let's roll, let's cruise, let's fly. You come to ride by my side. Let's go, let's ride. Let's go, let's ride. Let's go, let's ride.
Tow truck. This is a tow truck. The woman in this car is in trouble. Her car has broken down. But someone has called for a tow truck to help her.
My name is Steven. My dad works in a garage. Sometimes when someone calls for a tow truck, I go along with my dad. I like to help people. Here we go. My dad's a real good driver. We often have to drive tow trucks on the roads in the desert. There's the broken down car. My dad turns the tow truck around and backs it up to the broken car. My dad and I checked the engine to see if there's something simple that's wrong. Something that my dad can fix right there.
I'm gonna have to tow it.
If we have to fix it back at the garage, we tow it. My dad has to attach the broken car's wheels to a sling from the tow truck. I hold the sling to help my dad, while my dad attaches the other wheel to the sling.
Holding it? Okay.
Then my dad uses a machine on the tow truck called a hoist to lift the car's front wheels off the ground. Dad makes sure that the car is firmly attached to the tow truck before we go. Then we get into the tow truck to drive back to the garage. There's the tow truck towing the broken car.
Here we go, up in the air.
Airplane. This is a passenger airplane.
There's the propellers and an engine.
There's the passenger entrance and a place for the luggage.
And there's the tail of the airplane.
That's right.
Here comes the passengers. Looks like it's raining.
The passengers are boarding the airplane.
That means the passengers are getting on the airliner. I can see a wheel of the airplane.
The front of the airplane is called the nose. The airplane's radar is there. A ground crew person closes a luggage door. The engines start.
And the propellers begin to turn.
In the propeller plane, it is the propellers that pull the plane forward on the ground and in the air.
The propellers spin so quickly that you can hardly see them. That's a radar antenna going around.
In bad weather like this, the control tower uses radar to see other airplanes through the clouds and rain. Now the airliner is going to the runway. This is called taxiing.
The airliner is taxiing.
When the people in the control tower see that the airplane traffic is clear, they tell the airplane's pilot that he can take off.
There goes the airliner.
There are many different kinds of airplanes. This airliner is a jet plane. Look at the jet engines under this airplane's wings. There are no propellers. This jet plane is so big it's called a jumbo jet.
There's a small propeller plane. And there's a jumbo jet.
This jumbo jet has come all the way from China.
How do you know?
I can see the Chinese writing on the side of the plane. Can you?
There's the control tower.
Now the jumbo jet from China is taking off. See the wheels going up?
There's so many airplanes at the big city airport. Here comes a jet airliner, in for a landing, with its lights on. Touchdown!
SST. This jet airliner is called an SST. That means supersonic transport. The SST is the fastest airliner in the world. It can travel faster than the speed of sound.
That's what supersonic means, faster than the speed of sound.
The SST can go 1,800 miles per hour. Can you see the jet engines under the wing?
There they are. And there's the tail. The wing is shaped like a triangle.
Now the SST is landing.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Clang, 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 clang. Here comes the cable car.
Cable car. This is a cable car. On the streets of San Francisco are cable car tracks, and under these tracks are wheels that carry the cables. Cables are long ropes that are made out of metal. They are very strong. The cables pull the cable cars up the steep hills of San Francisco. There's a cable car going up a steep hill. The cable is attached under the cable car. This place is called the cable car powerhouse. It is where the machines are that pull the cables. See the large wheels pulling the cables? At the beginning and the end of a cable car route, the cable cars are turned around on a turntable. The cable cars are pushed around on the turntable by the people who run the cable cars. Then the cable car workers make sure that the cable car is on its tracks properly. The cable car is ready to roll. And here come the kids.
Gotta move inside, guys. You gotta move inside.
That's the cable car operator. He's called the brakeman. Hold on tight. Here we go. The brake in the brakeman's hand attaches the cable car to the cable under the street. The brakeman also works all kinds of controls with his feet. This person is the conductor. She also works a brake and announces the stops.
Next stop is the Cable Car Museum, Cable Car Powerhouse on the left.
so much fun riding on a cable car. Goodbye, brakeman.
Here we go, sailing on a ship.
Barge. This is a barge. This is Tom helping his mother on their barge. Tom and his family live on a river barge. Not very many people live on barges. Here is Tom's sister, Kate. There's a lot of work to do on a barge. Here Tom is coiling rope. Tom's dad and mom are getting ready to sail. Tom and Kate are wearing life jackets. Now their mom is pushing off with a long pole. See the barge moving away from the dock? This barge is named Daybreak. Here they go, sailing down the river. Tom and Kate's daddy is steering the barge, while Kate and her mom wave goodbye.
See you later.
Barges like this one are used to carry coal and grain from port to port on the rivers. The wheel Tom and Kate's dad is steering with is connected to a tiller. What's the tiller turning? The tiller is connected to a rudder. The rudder is that flat black thing on the end of the barge. When the rudder turns to one side, it makes the barge turn. I wonder what Tom sees through his binoculars. He sees a racing scow on the river. That long boat with all the rowers is called a racing scow. This racing scow has 8 rowers. Now Tom sees a motorboat. The man in the motorboat is yelling orders to the rowers in the racing scow. This racing scow has only 1 rower. So does that one. There's a sailboat without its sails up. What's Tom pointing out to his father? It's a river patrol boat coming in close just to check on things. Now Mom takes the wheel while Dad pours some tea. They pass some very nice houses along this part of the river. Now, Tom sees a bridge coming up with a bus going over it. This is what it looks like to sail under a bridge. You can hear the traffic on the bridge. This is what Tom and Kate's little cabin looks like inside the barge. Here's Kate playing in the cabin. Here comes Tom. He's going to take a rest in his bed. There's his bed. Now Kate opens up her bed and climbs in.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, Tom.
Tom and Kate really like living on a barge. Happy sailing down the river.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Farm tractor. This is a farm tractor. Farm tractors pull plows and other things behind them to loosen up the soil so that farmers can plant crops. See the metal discs loosening the soil? Here's a tractor towing its plow over a bridge. Sometimes farm tractors are used to pull heavy loads. Here, Farmer Jones and his children are going to pull a load of hay on a trailer behind their tractor. Farmer Jones hands the bales of hay to his children, and the children place the bale on the trailer. Here comes another bale of hay.
Give a help, mate. Give a pull.
The children like to help their father. Here comes more hay.
Roll. Pull it towards you.
Then Farmer Jones closes the trailer gate.
Right. Sit down to the one. Have an over the top. Right then. Right there. Hold tight.
Then Farmer Jones gets in his tractor and starts up the engine. Here they go. Mom and baby sister wave goodbye. They pass some houses in the village. They can see their father driving. They pass cars near a bridge. They drive by a field of yellow flowers. It is great fun to ride behind Daddy's farm tractor.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Garbage truck. This is a garbage truck. This is a garbage man collecting the garbage from somebody's house. He takes the garbage can and dumps it in the back of his truck.
Coming out the other end when I rest.
Then he returns the garbage can to the house, making sure he closes the gate behind him. Now he drives the garbage truck to an apartment building. where there are more garbage men waiting. Here's a garbage man bringing garbage from a grocery shop.
And another garbage man. That shop has lots of garbage.
It is very important that we have people to help us get rid of our garbage. One of the garbage men presses a button on the garbage truck, and a machine squeezes the garbage together so that more garbage will fit inside. That's called compacting the garbage.
Where do they take the garbage?
They take the garbage to a garbage dump. Could you imagine how bad it would be if we didn't have people to take away our garbage? What would we do with it?
Gee, I don't know. There's a machine that compacts the garbage.
There goes the garbage truck.
We're sure glad there are people and trucks to help take away the garbage.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Subway train. This is a subway train.
Hi, my name is Corey, and that's my friend Bethany with the long, dark hair. One day, we were invited to take a ride on our city's rapid transit system called BART. Here we are going underground on an escalator. We took our subway train tickets and put them in a machine that checked them and gave them back. Then we went down to the train tracks to wait for the subway train. In some places, this is called an underground train. We got on. Then we took our seats. The doors closed and the subway train left the station. There isn't too much to see out the window when you're in a subway tunnel. It is interesting looking at all the different passengers. Then we pulled into the next station. More passengers got on. The subway train is an excellent way for people in a city to get from place to place quickly without using a car. Then I took Bethany up front to where they drive the train. We were very lucky. The operator of the subway train was expecting us and began to show us how to drive a subway train. There's the buttons you press to honk the horn. There's the subway tunnel. We are approaching the station. Bethany sure liked honking the horn to tell the people in the station that the subway train was coming.
That's the reason for that is so the doors won't fly open while the train moves.
We went in and out of daylight. Sometimes we were underground and sometimes we went above the ground. When we were above the ground, The subway train was just like a regular train. Then the operator let me and Bethany drive the train all by ourselves. We went alongside a highway. See the cars out the window? It felt great driving that train. The numbers on the speedometer show the speed the train is traveling. There we go, back to the city. It's very good for people in a city to have a rapid transit system.
Here we go, sailing on a ship.
Punt. This is a punt. One day, Beth and Edward were invited by their cousin Bernard to go punting.
Okay, come on then.
A punt is a long and narrow boat that floats on a river. Bernard helped Beth and Edward onto the punt. Then Bernard got on and took a long pole to push with.
Okay, so we can start with that hitch on the back. Here we go.
Edward and Beth were very happy.
Which way should we go?
They passed a duck. Cousin Bernard gave Edward his hat.
Do you like my hat? Yeah? Okay, there you are.
Beth thought Edward looked very silly. They passed a dam that held back the water. While Bernard worked hard pushing with his pole, they passed some very old buildings called colleges.
Sunny day, it's really beautiful.
Beth pointed out an old bridge, which they passed under. Soon they saw other punts and boats on the river, and they floated under more bridges. Can you see Beth, Edward and Bernard in their punt? They passed under a large willow tree. Then Beth and Edward saw a little boy and his father in a rowboat. And they saw another punt go past them. certain places, there were many punts and people on the river. In other places, they were all alone, and the river was peaceful and quiet. Beth and Edward thought that punting with their cousin Bernard was very beautiful.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Crane. This is a construction crane. This part of the construction crane is called the boom. It is very high and it is used to lift very heavy things. This crane is being used to help build a bridge.
Look, that big construction crane is moving.
There's the crane operator. Construction cranes move on treads instead of wheels. That's because they're so big and heavy that wheels would get stuck in the dirt or break from the weight.
That worker is guiding cables that are lowered down from the boom. The operator works the controls so that the crane can lift something heavy.
That thing being lifted is a concrete form.
There's the top of the boom.
The cable is attached to the form.
The worker is guiding the form.
Can you see the boom holding up the form?
The worker signals the crane operator. The worker and the crane operator are working together.
Now the form is being lowered, and the crane operator signals the worker that the job is finished. So long, construction crane.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Taxi. This is a taxi. Here are Daisy and Ariadne and their grandma waiting for a taxi cab to take them to the train station. Here comes the taxi. This is the type of taxi they have in England. Daisy and Ariadne are excited. They rush ahead of their grandma. Daisy carries a suitcase for her grandma.
Wait for me, girls.
The taxi driver takes their luggage while the others get in the back of the taxi. The taxi driver gets in and starts the taxi meter going. The taxi meter counts the miles they go and tells them how much the trip costs. Here they go. Grandma looks out the window at all the different things.
Grandpa, what kind of tree is that?
That pink one, that was a cherry.
The taxi driver is a very good driver. He drives almost all the time he is working. The taxi driver is careful to stop at every red light.
Grandpa, I'm hungry.
Typical, isn't it?
Mom.
We'll have to wait, won't we, till we get on the train.
Soon they arrive at the train station. The driver turns off the taxi meter. They all get out. The taxi driver gets their luggage for them. Then he places the bags on a luggage cart and Grandma pays him. He is a very nice taxi driver. Now, with Ariadne on the luggage cart, Grandma and Daisy push the cart into the train station. Bye-bye, taxi. Now they're inside the train station. They walk to their train.
On the train, I heard you on the train, yeah.
There goes their train.
Here we go, sailing on a ship.
Container ship. This is a container ship. Here's a tug pushing a container ship into the container port. A container port is such a busy place that you often see two container ships passing each other. Can you see all the different containers piled on the container ships?
Yes, containers carry all kinds of things from place to place.
Those are the cranes that will unload the containers from the container ship after it docks. See how the cranes take the containers off the container ship and load it onto the back of a truck.
That's amazing.
And the trucks take the containers into the city so the things inside can be sold in stores, right?
Right. These are the cabs of the busy cranes. Each cab has a crane operator inside. In a busy container port, there are also trucks arriving with more containers to load onto the container ships.
There's a truck with a container to be loaded on the container ship.
When the container ship is all loaded, it will sail away to another port.
Here comes the crane. There's the crane operator in the cab.
The crane lifts the container onto the ship.
Look at all the containers loaded on the stern of the container ship.
When it's time for the crane to move to another part of the container ship, the whole crane rolls on railroad tracks.
I can see the crane moving.
A big city container port is one of the busiest places you will ever see. Watch.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Trolley. This is a trolley. This is a trolley yard where all the trolley cars are kept when they're not going places. The driver of this trolley is changing the signs on top that tell people where the trolley goes to.
My name is Katie. One day, I took my brother Julian for a ride on the trolley. Here comes the trolley on its tracks. A trolley is like a small train in many ways. We walked in, then put our money in the fare box next to the driver. Then we took our seats. As the trolley began to move, a nice policeman waved to us. There goes the trolley. This is what it looks like inside the trolley. There's the trolley driver. He's called the operator. Can you see his controls? Because the trolley runs on tracks, the operator doesn't have to steer it. The trolley gets its power from electric wires that hang above the street. That's the top of the trolley. The part that runs across the wires is called the pantograph. My brother was enjoying the trolley ride a lot. So was I. There's the trolley tracks. I'm glad we have trolleys in our city.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Miniature steam train. This is a miniature steam train. There's the engineer. Miniature means small. This train is much smaller than a regular-sized steam train. This man is loading water into the locomotive, just like in a big steam locomotive. Here comes another train. This one's a miniature diesel train. You can't see steam coming from that locomotive, can you?
No, a diesel does not use steam.
Now a man is loading coal onto the steam train.
The coal is burned in the locomotive to make the steam that runs the train.
This miniature steam train takes 200 school children to school and back every school day.
Wow, those kids are lucky. I wish I could take a train like that to school and back.
While the school children get on the train, the engineer takes care of the locomotive. Some of the kids are fooling around.
Goodbye.
Here they go.
Look at all those school kids.
Now the children are on their way home. When the miniature steam train gets to the last stop, all the remaining children get off and run home.
Here we go, rolling on the ground.
Police car. This is a police car.
My name is Frances. One day I was lost. I didn't know how to get home. I was scared. I remembered what my mum told me to do if I got lost. Find a police officer. So I went to a police station. This nice police officer phoned my mother and told her that I was all right. Then he said he would drive me home in a police car. First, he radioed his police station to tell them where he was going and when he would be back.
Francis on board, and I'll be at Albany Street in about half an hour to 3/4 of an hour. Oscar Echo 4, over.
Then we started out. I'd never been in a police car before. It was exciting. We passed right by Buckingham Palace. What's that big thing on the front there?
That thing there is called a speedometer, and it's very, very accurate. It tells me exactly how fast this car is going. And if I follow the car in front at an even distance of about 50 yards behind him for 1/10 or 2/10 of a mile, I can then tell how fast that car in front is going.
Can you please turn on your blue flashing lights?
Yes, just for you. Just this once, though.
He turned on his siren and his lights for a little while for me. We were crossing Tower Bridge. It was the most exciting ride I've ever had. I was glad I knew how to find a police officer when I got lost.